Broken Hill, we're over 1,000 miles from the coast. We're 3 hours drive from the nearest town, and that's why there's a lot of sort of creativity within the culture, because isolation fosters really robust imaginations.
I reckon the lead's affected us. I say that to everyone. I reckon it's the lead. The lead in the town, I reckon, has got something to do with the art, because there's so many people in Broken Hill that's talented. Kids, bloody people. Nearly everyone like you talk to could draw or paint.
I think there was kind of a happy accident that occurred around the time that Pro Hart became successful. He was sort of getting some traction in his art back in the late 60s. The Woman's Weekly came out and wrote a story, and the title of the story was The Brushman of the Bush, and got the name of Broken Hill out there into the world.
Broken Hill is just the art centre of Western New South Wales, really.
I was born here, I lived here until I was 20. Took off with my suitcase to become the best photographer in the world. Annie Leibovitz was my hero, you know. So I turned up at Annie's studio, and she liked me and liked my work, and so she asked me to hang around for a couple of weeks. And that really changed my life, because that was my photography university. I thought, OK, well, I'm going to go back to Australia and I'm going to do what Annie Leibovitz does, but in Australia, because nobody's doing it. The Broken Hill book is actually a project I wanted to do for a long time. I believed that if I could create a portrait of Broken Hill, I could create a portrait of Australia. Broken Hill was a microcosm of Australia. That's how I began to think about it. As I shot the book, it quickly became obvious to me that Broken Hill is not a quintessential Australian town, it's a unique Australian town. There is so much that is different about Broken Hill. You can't really compare it to any other place.
I'll go out to the bush, and if I see something, I'll look at it first like this was just a rusty old saw, and it's done its time because it was sharpened so much it's no good anymore. This I know I can make a kidney out of. When I said I'd make kidneys out of saw blades, people laughed at me, but I done it. But to me, I make this porcupine, I bring this piece of rust back to life. If you look at rusted things and you look at red ochre, to me, that rust, it's got ochre on it. This is sort of the colours what the old people used to do their rock painting and that. If you look at the rust and look at the red ground out here, it's nearly the same. And that's my inspiration from the rust. If I won $1 million, but I wouldn't live anywhere else. I'd have my rusty pieces, and I wouldn't move from here, from this house, because this house and those rust, that's me.
Came to Broken Hill thinking I would be here for maybe 6 months, put down very deep roots. Broken Hill and this land, it's become very important to me. I started off making baskets, and then I got interested in using paper making to actually mould a shape. I like to think of the history of this area when I'm making baskets, and the women in particular, how they survived out in what would have been the middle of nowhere at that time while their men mined. And yet, you know, you find these beautiful little bits of broken china with floral motifs on them in the hills out here. Somebody's pride and joy once upon a time. All these little pieces that you pick up that tell a story of Broken Hill.
When I first bought the shed, the bloke that was here before me, well, he collected push bikes, and he had hundreds and hundreds leaned up against the shed when I bought the shed, and he said, what do you want to do with these push bikes? You want me to throw them up the dump? And I said, no, I'll do something with them. So then I worked out that I'll put them into my beer garden and around the fence line, and I'll make a few sculptures out of them. Oh, I just collect junk. I just love collecting it. I love anything rusty, anything with colours in it, anything that's just old. Look, I put paint on everything. Have a look. There's paint on everything, on the cupboards, on the bloody walls. I paint everything. You stay here long enough, I'll paint you. I was painting when I was working underground at the mines. So morbid and dark underground. You don't see no colour, it's all black and white. When you get up on top, you see the bloody blue sky. As soon as you come up in a cage from underground, you get fresh air, blue sky, colours, everything's coloured. No one believes my colours. When I used to exhibit in Sydney a lot, I'd be at exhibitions and people that come up and say, oh, we love your paintings, but we don't believe the colour, it's not the real colour. And I'll say, well, you wait till you come to Broken Hill and have a look.
The beauty of Broken Hill is in the detail. It's pointless coming here and trying to experience it by comparing it to something else. You're never going to get it that way. Just join in, have an adventure. You know, that's the only way to experience Broken Hill.